Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday night. I hope you guys all had a good weekend. I hope you guys get to rest and recover. I myself did that for sure. I had a very relaxing weekend, very chill. But now we're getting into Sunday nights, and I swear Sunday nights go so fast. I feel like it was just I woke up and now I'm getting ready to go to bed. It's around 8 o'clock, 8:30 at the latest. But right now we're going to dive into what to expect this week. I know last week we had a very successful week overall, but we got to get into what's going to happen this week and kind of what's going to happen in the future, and where to really go with our material and what to look at. So this article published 8 o'clock tonight. I hopped right on this right after I got this article from CNBC. So it says stock future slide after U.S. debt downgrade highlights deficit risk. Live updates. So if we scroll a little bit into this, I know we don't like to hear that word slide. I know it's a little worrisome. I myself am a little worried. I'm focusing on this right here. So if you guys don't know, Moody's downgrade of the U.S. credit rating dropped the stocks tonight, and it's a little frustrating, especially because after last week we had such a great week. $2,000 in profit, so that was really awesome to see. And also the Dow Jones tonight dropped around 292 points, or about 0.7%. And then the S&P 500 pulled back 0.7% as well, and then Nasdaq lost around 0.8%. You guys may be wondering what is Moody's credit risk. So it is a risk analysis and global credit score. It's not official, it's just an estimate. So this is why we shouldn't really panic right now. Something I really wanted to focus on in this article that will kind of give us a bigger indication of what's going to happen is it says investors on Monday will monitor speeches from U.S. central banks. So it would be interesting to see, especially with how the tariffs have been implemented, whether the interest rates rise or stay the same. Obviously, that has to do with the Fed and Jerome Powell, that whole situation. We're kind of monitoring that as that goes. But it'll be interesting to see like what really happens going forward, because I know that Jerome Powell and Trump really clash heads when it comes to interest rates. I know that over the weekend, Trump actually told Walmart to eat the tariffs, just because obviously you guys can see right below. This is kind of an article over the weekend. I won't get into that right now. Basically, Trump wants these companies to kind of just eat the tariffs instead of raising their prices to affect the overall consumer, so like ourselves. But companies don't want that. They're obviously going to lose off on profit. They're not going to make as much money at that time. But it'll be interesting to see really what happens into this. But this is kind of like the biggest update right now of the overall night. Something to keep an eye on, especially going into tomorrow. I expect we're going to see tariffs affect the market, maybe possibly this week. But then I would expect tomorrow, if you check your account at 9:30 in the morning, it's going to be red. But hopefully over the day and hopefully towards maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll kind of get a better indication of how the day will really perform. I'm expecting to lose money tomorrow. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see a negative 500 maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to see going forward how this is really going to affect the overall market, especially my own portfolio. And if I'm really ready to move on or make some adjustments to my overall portfolio, I'll do so. But right now, it's kind of just a waiting game. But this is the global news from tonight. We're going to keep an eye on it, and then I'm going to get into something later. But this is definitely something to keep an eye on for sure. This is my favorite part of today's video. This is what I love to do, especially with all my friends. Back at school at Moravian, I'm in the president of the investment club. I love to advertise stocks I want to get into. So starting off, I'm going to do 2 stocks a week every Sunday night, and we're going to monitor them as we go. So keep me in check for these. So we're going to do snow this week. And we're also going to do core week. So at the end of the week, I'm going to give a report of how they did this week and then analyze it going forward, if they're a buy, if it's a sell. But these are 2 stocks that I own in my own portfolio right now. This is based on my own discretion of what I think is best for my account. Base it of however you feel, but if you guys would love to monitor how I'm doing, please do so. But if you have any advice, please reach out as well. I take all advice all the time. But here are 2 stocks that I want to get into. So Snowflake, starting off, ticker symbol SNOW. Let it snow. That'd be a funny title. So looking at their income statement here, we look at their revenue, and the revenue's been increasing obviously over time. So this is in millions. I like to see this. I like to see a steady growth over time, especially because I mean it's a smaller company. Not a lot of people know about this stock, but I think it's a good stock to get into myself. I think it's good. Previously, just because if we look at the past month, which I'll dive into this, but I have a chart that I analyzed and did little things on. But back in April 21st, they were at 137. Now they're at 183. Obviously, that's a huge jump. I was lucky enough to buy them at 138, I believe. So I did make profit off of that. but I have a gut feeling they're going to keep going up. So hopefully we can make more profit on this, and maybe you guys can profit from this as well. So their 52-week range, so about a year, obviously, is about 107 to 194, and I like that. I like to see that a lot. I know that before the tariffs, they were February 18th of this year, obviously 192. They obviously range a little higher than that, just to hit that 52-week range. But overall, I like to see this analysts. I love when analysts say buy, and these guys are like top guys. Obviously, these guys, look at their firms. They have Wells Fargo, D.A. Davidson, Piper Sandler. Those are huge firms, and I do think that this is a stock to definitely get into and buy. Unfortunately, they don't give any dividends, so those looking for passive income stocks, this might not be the one for you, but it's definitely a company that you believe in. Could be a growth fund stock like myself. I have a growth fund, and everything in the growth fund is stocks that I believe can exceed their expectations and grow. So that stock, like Nvidia takes up like 72% of my overall portfolio. But I have them in my growth fund just because I believe that they can grow even further and even longer, and kind of beat out the AI industry. So that's kind of like my reasoning behind that. But if you look at it here, I made this chart. So I made the lowest point. So obviously the lowest point of the year is when the tariffs were implemented. I circled this here so you guys can kind of see that and visualize and really see it's like a big drop off. It's like Mariana Trench goes. But that was the best point to buy if you're looking to make profit. I bought right after that, I believe. I bought at this point right here, so it was about 136. So it was the day before my birthday. My birthday is on April 9th. I remember I bought that right before my birthday. I was like, oh, I'll let it snow. Let's have some fun. Viewer discretion advised. But I believe that the stock can definitely make profit for you as well heading into the near future. It did for myself. I like when all the analysts say buy, 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 especially when the big analysts from like Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley all hop on a stock and say buy just because it gives me confidence. It makes me feel good. But when you guys look into the stock, and if you do your own research, definitely look what the analysts are saying. These guys are like top notch. They know it. They know a lot about the industry. They know a lot about stocks and bonds, and they really have a lot of good information. So if you're looking to get into a stock or a bond, before you buy it, do a little bit of research. That's the only thing I advise. Just because I know penny stocks are huge. I know you might see a coin. And it's like, oh, this to the moon. It could happen, but best case scenario, it might not. So do a little bit of analyzing before you jump on a stock, just because you never know what could happen. But listen to the big guys on top. Might have good ideas, and then one day maybe you might get there. You know what I mean? Just give some advice to yourself. Listen to them, analyze it, and then go from there. So this chart here. So this is the point of optimization, I'm calling it, when you could have made the most profit. Obviously, I like to see this. So this is in the past 3 months, so since March of this year until now. And ever since then, it's been on a steep incline. I do think, like I said, tomorrow, I think it's going to see a little dip off. If you look at the pre-market, so I'll go back to that, obviously, pre-market, so right now, heading into tomorrow, they're down about $3, so about 1.68%. I'm not worried about that just because I feel like all the stocks are going to be like that. If we look up, for example, my prized possession, all my friends know this, NVIDIA. I think Nvidia is going to obviously drop off tomorrow as well. Obviously, this is after hours on what's today? That was on Friday, but I think heading into tomorrow, just like the S&P 500 right now, everything's dropping off just because of the credit rating analysis for the U.S. economy. But I think everything's going to start diving off, and I don't think we're going to see a lot of stocks pick up tomorrow. But if this stock goes on discount, I definitely think it's a stock to buy, and I think it's something to look into. Now, another company I think we should definitely get into is CoreWeave. I know I talked about this company a bit in my last couple of videos, but they're really closely related with NVIDIA. And also, I'm a huge AI guy. I think AI is going to go to the moon, possibly. If not, I'm going to be screwed. But overall, I think their revenue and their income statement is really showing for that. They actually were a private company, and I believe they only became tradable on the market, I think, on March 28th. I'll have to check myself on that. But if you look at their financials, I love to see this revenue growth. Like, this is huge, and this is in the millions. And if we go into the billions, we even see this, like 2.71 billion. That's huge. I mean, that's really, really big. It's a fast-growing company. I mean, they've only been around not that long. I mean, if you look at the jump from 2023 to now, holy crap, that's a huge jump, and I love to see that. And also looking at their balance sheet as well, they have some good cash growth here. I like to see that 520%. It's nice to see those. And then also looking into their forecast, what they're really saying to get into. It's not a strong buy like Snowflake. They're kind of still understanding the stock just because it's so new. But looking into it right now, the price target is around $60.69. And honestly, they are not there yet. So I would say if you don't want to get it now, that's fine. That's totally fine. I bought it when it was freshly 40. I bought it right when it came into the market. So right at that circle point there. So it came into the market about $40 a share. I bought about $500 worth of it, and then I sold off right here. I sold off a little bit, and then I kept it, and then obviously I wrote it down, 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 down. I was worried about it because I was like, oh crap, I just invested into this new stock, and now it's going to go back to $1, and I'm going to be screwed out. But it didn't. Obviously, looking at this line here, ever since April 21st, they've been kind of steadily inclining. I love to see that. I think it's going to be really, really good for the company overall. They actually, if you guys look at my past video, they've been doing really, really well in my portfolio, and I love to see that. But if you see this steady incline here, I definitely think that's a company we should get into. I like the short buys. I like to hold it on for a certain amount of time. If it's not performing, kick it to the can and not get rid of it. And then I like to get into stocks that I think are long term, like the growth stocks. I would rate this as definitely a growth stock. I think this is a stock that could possibly blow up even more in the future, but we have to be very careful just because it's such a new stock to the industry. It's like it could. Some analysts are like, oh, it could be like Apple or it could be like Microsoft, but we don't know that yet. You know what I mean? We have to give it a little more time. But if you feel comfortable with your own discretion, I'm not saying anything. Do it yourself, but invest it with your own money at your own discretion. So if you feel comfortable about it, if you look at their financials and you feel good about it and if you feel confident, definitely invest it. But this is two companies I really think that we should look into heading into this week. Like I said, I think everything's going to really drop off tomorrow for a little bit. I may see some green in my portfolio tomorrow, but I'm not expecting to. So I'm going to head in tomorrow with a optimistic, like, oh, it's okay. I think we're going to lose a little bit, but hopefully we can rebound. I don't think we're going to be at that 19,500. Maybe we might be back in the 18,000s. But at the same time, I feel confident enough to say that these are two stocks I definitely think to get into now, especially because they might be on discount tomorrow. They might be down a couple dollars. So if you feel comfortable in getting into these stocks, definitely do it now before they possibly could go up and you can make some profit. So that's always good. Now, guys, this is my account portfolio as of Sunday night around 9:30. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Like I said before, it's all up to your own discretion whether you feel what stocks to get into. If you don't want to, if you want to, I'll definitely be analyzing them any other way. But take a look at the stocks that I'm recommended. Get into them, see how you feel, and then at the end of the week, we'll reevaluate. But I hope you guys had a great weekend. Have a great Monday. Don't drag too much, and I'll see you guys pretty soon. I'll update as the week goes on and post more videos, so keep in touch. Cheers.